Hello, friends. Welcome back to more trading signals for cryptocurrencies. Today is the 8th of October, so we got basically the markets a red day. I don't know if you noticed, but quite some days ago, I told you that I was expecting a big correction, and this was the big correction that I was expecting. Also, I told you today there could be a chance of another red day, but actually it's looking more like in range because the current position for most coins right now is kind of in range. Okay, this is just Bitcoin, so you can see it was perfectly in range. I believe tomorrow and possibly the 10th of October will be very good days. Okay, I believe that Bitcoin will go higher in the next coming days. There's a very high chance of actually seeing those two consecutive green days because my predictions for the other method that I have for predicting the future basically tells me that it's going to be that case. Okay, I forecasted the 7th of October as a very bad day. I shared it very quietly on Twitter, I believe, something like that. But yeah, now I see a different change, basically an uptrend, very powerful uptrend. If we get two consecutive green days, we can possibly go to a new higher position for the entire month. And basically, for Bitcoin, that means a new all time high. Okay. Some people are saying the bull run is already over. That's false. I mean, guys, we still have many, many days, many weeks to go. Also, before I continue, many people keep asking about the indicators and the trading signals. Okay, so the trading signals group will be open soon, possibly next week. Like I told you, I'm still kind of experimenting. The signals are getting better. I have made basically a real time script that allows for real time dynamic change for the alerts because TradingView has a very, very obsolete, in my opinion, and very bad system of actually setting up the alerts. For example, I'll show you. When you trigger an alert, you only have these four conditions. Okay, only once means the alert will only be triggered only once and never again. Once per bar, only once per bar. But if you're talking about a 1 hour time frame, this is a 1 bar. So if you get multiple signals, you will only get the first one triggered. Same kind of goes for this, except for the next bar after that. And once per minute, which is very, very spammy. Okay, you'll get basically signals every single minute, non-stop. So that obviously doesn't work. So I had to develop a way of code basically that allows for real time dynamic change, and that's what the current signals use. And I have been testing them. I have been very successful at it. Got a very good long in the early morning, and basically all the way up to these hours, maybe around the 13, 14 hours, obviously in my time zone, so Denver time zone. And the other thing that I also got recently is these are not as profitable shorts. They are quite small right now, but money is money regardless. So yeah, guys, I still get to develop even more signals, even more indicators. So again, if you're interested in the signals, you'll have to wait a little bit more. And if you're interested in more predictions, you can ask me and contact me via email of what you want to see. Okay, it's very easy. I answer every time, every single question that you have. I will be happy to answer. So yeah, guys, this is the markets right now. Okay, we're going to cover Bitcoin. We're going to cover other coins, for example, IOTA. Many people keep talking about IOTA. Was a very volatile coin, also a good short. So this indicator, that the one that you're seeing right now, is possibly one of the ones that you have already seen in other videos. It's called the large intraday. It basically measures the real strength, the real trend of basically around one or more days, possibly even more, like 3 4 days sometimes. For example, Bitcoin got a very, very good long from the last days of September all the way up until the 3rd, even 4th of October. So we're talking nearly 4 days. Sometimes the market is so volatile we only get to measure as a small portion of a day. but this can be recalibrated to other degrees, to other extents. For example, this other indicator I just created it very easy, called medium. Basically, just measures in a kind of smaller time frame, but still not as close as scalping. It still is very good. As you can see, we get beautiful entries for longs, for shorts, beautiful trading. You can get many trades in a day with this indicator, around maybe on average three to five, I'd say, 3 to 5 good trades, and you can get some very small short-lived trades, like for example this interruption with this short. Maybe if you had gone like at this kind of the distance of the bar, maybe this is a very small, very small, but at least decent short. Okay, and then you get other shorts, beautiful shorts like this one. Okay, nearly 3%. So this the beauty of this indicator is that it can again be basically calibrated for everything that you want. You can go for even more smaller time frames for scalping. You can go for even longer. But I guess this is a very good time frame because it obviously measures the real trend. And I said time frame, but really it doesn't really um, it doesn't work on this time frame or any time frame at all. Okay, this is for example the 1 hour time frame. If we go to 30-minute time frame, we can see basically the same trends. Okay, we see this option, very powerful option, and you can see the interruptions right there. For example, in this case, and others, the same that we. Okay, this is the 39 time frame, but 39-minute, but it still is the same as you can see, very much the same. Okay, so again, this doesn't work on a particular time frame. This works for every time frame, no matter what. Okay, this is what makes this indicator so powerful. And I believe no one else has done this, like in actually develop a real-time trading indicator. Most trading indicators are lagging indicators. You already know that if you have read or seen very basic tutorials about trading, you'll notice and you know that most indicators, for example, MACD, the moving average, RSI, and other indicators are lagging indicators, meaning that they don't capture the real movements of the markets in real time. The one that I just created actually does that. Okay. For example, if this candle were to suddenly try to burst all the way up, the indicator will immediately pick that signal up and signal a change. Okay, very powerful stuff. So we got basically all the markets in red. For example, we got Dogecoin in red right now. Pound Phone also in red, dangerously close to the support zone, very dangerous stuff. Then we get AVAX also in red. AVAX also in red, as you can see. Most coins taking a big dip. Some other coins, for example, Solana, is still very good. It was very green up until recently. So these corrections were not as strong as, for example, in IOTA or AVAX. At the most, we got 1.70%. To be quite realistic, this signal could have been triggered around this level, giving you at most 1.50%. So very decent, very good, especially if you go with as a decent amount of leverage. Ethereum as well, kind of suffering right now because it actually is trying to break below the support. A link, chain link, kind of similar to Ethereum, but not as bad. Bitcoin Cash, very similar to the other ones. Litecoin, as you can see, a little bit better. Cardano, also very much like Ethereum, almost touching the support. If we go to other volatile coins, for example, these coins, I'm covering them on the Telegram signals group. I don't really know them. I don't really care about them. I just care about making money, guys. So this is a very volatile coin, very good for making big amounts of money right there. But you have to be very careful trading these kind of coins because if they are very volatile, you can get liquidated, or at the very least, your stop loss can be triggered if you don't really enter at the right time. These coins, because they are very volatile, I suggest that you only enter when the trend forms, not in the middle of a trend. For example, let's assume that you get a short right there. And if you go with enough leverage, this is enough. This very small amount, this is enough to destroy your stop loss. So you'll have to go with maybe only 8 or 5 leverage in order to avoid that. Okay, this can be very volatile. Another extremely volatile coin, Aster, of course. Aster is also very volatile, especially these candles. Aster loves this kind of candles where you got extreme lows, extreme highs within that same candle. For example, this candle right there, it could have destroyed either your shorts or your long if not timed correctly. But then we get very good short right there. For example, we got a signal being triggered right now for the coin that I just talked about. And you can see this is real time. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You can see it was fully in red. Now we are talking green, okay? Obviously, this is because of this indicator, which is more responsive only to medium intraday. If we go to large intraday, it's still in red because, again, these measures a stronger, more basically a longer lasting trend. Okay, we're talking about many days of a trend. This one is basically measures the strength of around. If every day has around in average 4 or 5 trends, also including the smaller trends, this indicator is the very best in order to actually measure those trends, the smaller trends. As you can see, real time. If we go to a very those indicators that don't really work, like the moving average cross, but this is not always. Where is it? It's always right there. So if we go to these indicators, these are extremely bad. Okay, for example, the short for this indicator was right there, completely missed all of these gains. It was not an horrible trade, but it was very bad. And the long, which was this is a long. This is extremely bad. Okay, this completely destroys your position. This makes you actually lose money and big amounts of money. I'm talking. So yeah, you can see, and you have already know if you watch the previous videos, that these indicators, the old ones, the ones that everyone else uses, have no basically nothing against my indicator. They don't even compete, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, guys, I'll keep talking more about the indicators. I'll keep talking more about the strategies, more about other stuff. Again, expect big pumps in the coming days, 9 or 10, possibly both of them. Okay, we're going to see if I see the large intraday change, and I'm still awake, then I will do an update on Twitter, so you can maybe get a heads up of what's about to come. But you already know, like I told you, 9 and 10 of October, you can already start feeling the energy for those days. We're going to go ballistic all the way up. So that's all I have to say. Like, share, and subscribe for the work, all of that juicy good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time.